Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Fire Force episode 6, 7, and 8 review. With me, as always, are Coby and Torie. Welcome to the show, guys.
That was a lot.
That's so many episodes. It's so much because it's so hot. It's magma. It's and I screwed myself. Asteroids. It's
I don't think asteroids are hot, Coby. Sorry, you failed.
Asteroids are hot.
I thought they're cold.
They are. I think if you get hit by an asteroid, you're gonna think, "Ouch, this is pretty hot."
I think you're thinking of meteors. When asteroids enter the atmosphere, right? Then they become hot. But if they're just floating in space...
Is it meteors in space? Or no, is it... Oh, dang it. Well, nobody will ever know. You can't prove me wrong because you'll never go out and touch an asteroid and tell me that it's cold.
All right, you got me there. I won't go out of my way to touch asteroids to prove you wrong.
And see that right there? That fun conversation is is more fun than I had watching episode 6, that first episode of this chunk of 3.
Yeah, so that was the second half of the conflict of the last episode, right? Where the sister got kidnapped, and now it's the final showdown.
Between number 5.
Yeah, the number 5, Princess Hibana and Shinra.
And if you were expecting a big battle between 5 and 8 to continue on, like, nope. It's just between Shinra and Princess Hibana.
Yeah, wasn't Obi supposed to be there at some point? Where the hell was he?
Did you not see the ending?
Oh shit, we haven't been watching that.
Oh, we missed the after credits.
I'll let you know. I'll paint the scene because it was the funniest part of the episode. It's him preparing everything because he's getting ready and he's drinking sake and he's loading up and getting all his equipment ready because it takes a long.
Sake?
Yeah, and it takes a long time to get ready, and so and then he gets a call saying like, "I'm on my way because I finally got all this ready," and they're like, "Oh, it's over now," and he's like, "What? Oh, my bad."
Oh, that would have been funny.
Do all the episodes have after credit scenes?
No, it was just that one.
Oh, okay, good. I was
just
like,
a quick afterthought. Like the writer was like, wait, where's Obi again? Oh, yeah, he forgot to be there. Haha, hilarious.
What a bad leader.
He left his psychopathic lieutenant to go and shoot everybody with air bullets.
Yeah, and her youngest recruit to handle the biggest, baddest captain of number 5.
Yeah, one of his members got kidnapped, basically.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, this guy sucks.
I would team Obi before, but this was not a good showing for Obi.
No. So what did you guys think of the actual battle, though? Between Shinra and Hibana?
I didn't like them fighting between each other. I liked Hibana's magic or fire or whatever it is. It's really cool and really beautiful, really unique. But it does seem like she can do a lot for one character. And for Shinra to take her down, it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it's just shown in anime. It's like, this power is defeating me. No, I have willpower, though. I'm just going to push through the pain and punch them really hard, and that's how I'm going to change people's minds.
Yeah,
by converting them to good guys.
That's literally the answer. He hits her in the face once, and then he's like, "Oh, you're right. I've been crazy this whole time."
Yeah, I was so angry when that ended up being the resolution. I was like, if she just suddenly becomes good because of that, I'm gonna be so upset. So I'm upset.
Yeah. So the main motivation and the justification behind that was that all her nun friends were consumed by fire, which was probably horrifying, and then she gets into a pit of despair and she thinks pain is the only way, and she starts embracing the fire, and then she gets punched in the face and she's like, oh wait, no, fire's bad.
Because I was believing her as an evil person. I really felt for her. She, who was in this religious organization, who wasn't a devout believer as everyone else, was one of the only people who survived. And everybody else who was just and nice and, believed in God in this world all died in front of her. So she thought, her, who the fires are, within, who consumed her friends, must be bad, and she must be bad. Like, I believed all of that. Like, I thought that was a really good story, like a really good evil transition. And then for her to just like, oh, never mind.
Psych.
I'm okay. I'm good. No, I just don't believe that part.
Yeah, because in the flashbacks, we didn't really see any indication that she was good. I mean, she seemed just more of like a neutral character, like showing off all the fire flower stuff. And yeah, she was kind to the nun girl, I forgot her name, to Iris. And Iris is like, I want to see the flowers. And she's like, yeah, I'll let you see them after you get over your shyness.
This.
and then that was it. So it's like, yeah, there wasn't really a return to form. I just didn't really, I wasn't convinced that, like, yeah, she used to be a good person, then she turned bad, now she's good again, but that makes sense because she used to be good. Now it was just kind of like, she's sort of like a neutral person, then came evil, and then now she's good. And I don't really follow that character trajectory.
My biggest problem with it is that even I know Shinra is the star of the story, and this is a shonen anime, so everything kind of has to revolve around him. But really, Iris should have been the one to convince her to like help bring her back more so, because this is clearly an Iris and Princess Habana story. So because they have the close connection with each other. If anyone was going to bring her back to the lightness, it should have been her. Can you imagine how great a speech would have been to Iris? It's like, you don't think I'm angry too and mad and scared that this fire consumed everyone that I've loved and cared about? But no, because I'm not going to be consumed by it. I'm going to keep going with it because I'm going to find the answer. And if that sort of thing brought Princess Habana back over to the side, besides a punch to the face, I think I would have responded to the story a lot more.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this also kind of serves to make Iris even more useless, because I thought this was going to be like her time to shine, at least, where maybe she shows off some kind of ability other than, prayer. Maybe she's really good at persuasion or something. But yeah, it's mostly she was the damsel in distress, which was the impetus for everyone to come to her location and save her, and for Shinra to save the day.
And it's funny how you say that, because, and we'll get into this, that's literally the same thing that happens 2 episodes from now.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Like the exact same setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everyone loves Shinra, and now Hibana loves Shinra. In the next episode, she's feeding him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, now they're all hunky-dory, the 5th and the 8th. Like, again, I get it on paper about how, okay, they're going to investigate the 5th because they're the scientists, and then at the end of it, they form kind of an uneasy alliance, and they're going to team up and take on the 1st, which might be the true thing. But, like, the execution of that was just clunky. Like, it's like, oh, now we're all friends, and we're going to have a training cookout. Now we're all
hang out and be friends and
have
feed
barbecue.
each other grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just way too fast, because what was, like, how long did this take? Was it over the course of 3 episodes, right? When were we even introduced to the 5th? Like, maybe 3 episodes ago?
Yeah, it was like, it was the episode, yeah, 3 episodes before. So, yeah, it was introduced in episode 4. The beginning of the attack was episode 5, and the end attack was episode 6. And then by episode 7, they're all friends.
Yeah, so in the very short time period, the villain makes a complete heel turn.
Yeah, and it would be okay if they weren't super evil, but it seemed like everybody from the 5th organization was super evil. Like, just the moment before, they were all, like, basically killing each other with bullets and fire, and it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna just forget all of that and work together.
Yeah, I mean, in most shonen anime, it takes, like, multiple seasons for a bad guy to turn good. Talking Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, but in this one,
Bakugo, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's like here. Nope, you only need 4 episodes.
Well, you
and a punch to the face. One punch. That's it.
I think you called it last week, or last time we did this, Kobe, about how you think that she's just gonna quickly become an ally. But I didn't think it was me that quickly.
Did I say that? Man, I'm smart. I don't even remember saying that. Let's just say I said that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, well, so the next episode is a setup for when they're infiltrating the 1st, because from their research, from the 5th's research, they reveal that a lot of the Infernals, well, some of the Infernals were man-made. That was kind of one of the revelations that came from the 5th's alliance with the 8th, and that a lot of those Infernals were happening around the 1st jurisdiction. So that's why they're investigating the 1st.
Which is the church, which I said the church was making Infernals on purpose. Man.
You got it. You called it.
I called it.
And, what do you guys think of this episode?
I guess first, about the thoughts of the episodes. Like, what do you think of those, because we got introduced to the first more of their characters. Which one stood out the most to you guys?
In the 7th episode, I really liked that Redka guy. He was so happy and nice.
Yeah, he was happy-go-lucky.
They got you.
Happy-go-lucky, yeah. He was just abnormally, like, happy about things. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Like, you're so welcoming. I like that. But they got me for the next episode.
I like the captain. I just like his design a lot. He looks like a weathered, kind of an old badass guy with an eye patch. They don't really exactly reveal what his power is, but I suspect it's something to do with like he uses fire to augment his physical abilities or something like that.
Probably.
And that's how he's able to block. That's how he's able to block Arthur's plasma blade by basically creating like a solid mass of flame in that particular area of his arm to sort of block it. And that's why that's why he has that eye patch and like why fire kind of pours out of it, because the fire is inside his body and he's just sort of manipulating
So
it.
you're saying he has a hole in his eye?
Yeah.
What do you think,
That's why he has an eye patch.
You know, I really liked the fire powers that I've seen at the beginning, where it seemed like, okay, he's just blowing fire out of his feet. Oh, she can like manipulate fire and to turn them into little like cute little thingies. But it just seems like are these guys superheroes, or do they have superpowers? Because the more it seems like ever since Princess Hibana was introduced, like you could do anything with fire. Like
even have ice.
Yeah, you can make ice in the fire.
Turn fire to ice.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. Like I don't know. It's so weird.
Well, I think it's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, but it's just like, how does that make sense?
It doesn't have to make sense.
It doesn't have to make sense in the world of the fire.
It's anime.
God.
Don't think too hard.
Right.
I like the other one, the third one, the guy who speaks really in a strange way.
Yeah, that guy is kind of weird.
Your
I like
ass is kind of an ass. Your ass.
Is like, yes.
Astute.
I thought, and then just because they go on to this episode to discover that it comes down to either Reke or weird talking dude who is I guess injecting bugs into people for them to become infernals. And then when he discovers him, but when they discover the bug in weird talking guy's room, and he's like, nope, I planted this here for you guys to see. I'm actually hunting for the real one. I'm like, they believe him real quick because they're like, why should we trust you? And he's like, his reasoning was so weird. He's like, why should we trust you? And he said, well, you saw somebody in these robes, right? There was somebody else standing next to me wearing these robes, so it must have been him. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this anime just likes to move along, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense. Just like move on to the next thing.
It just makes these kids look dumber. Like they're gonna get themselves killed
I
for
don't know.
trusting these people.
I think it makes the show dumb because,
yeah.
well, that guy wasn't lying at all, even though it would have been a really convenient lie if he was.
Yeah,
and probably more interesting. But
more interesting if he would have got them out of the room when he goes,
I actually am the bad guy. But no, it's actually Rekka, and yeah, we get to see some Shinra and Rekka action where Shinra kills him in one hit.
Yeah, it just jumps on his face from super far above.
Mm-hmm. And Rekka was talking about a pilot light for the evangelist. What do you guys think that's about?
well, a pilot light in your house, it like keeps your, what does it do? Keep your house gas light on or something?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really know how houses work.
Don't you guys own a house?
Yeah.
How does this work? I don't know.
Oh no. I know if your pilot light goes out, you have to relight it for your gas to work.
Yeah.
Right. It's the pilot light. Okay, so he infects one of the kids as an infernal, but they don't turn infernal. Their eyes just turn yellow. So what do you guys think that's about?
I think that is they're trying to create because mankind is evolving into like each generation below has more and more fire powers. So I think they're trying to speed up the process because whoever's in charge of this, like the church, thinks that the next evolution of man or something is pure fire demon, like is fully submerged with fire DNA. So they're trying to kind of speed up that process to eliminate the weak old fleshy regular humans and just have all fire demon world all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of anime sense to me.
Yeah, I need to think of it more anime sense than logical sense. But there was something that Princess Hibana said in the, I think episode number 6. She said that her third generation powers didn't get super activated until that day when the fire happened. Mm-hmm. Anyone remember that?
Yeah, it didn't manifest.
Yeah, so is that the same with Shinra? That his didn't manifest until the day his family got into that fire?
Oh.
So like,
Oh.
do people only have fire powers because maybe they were either infected by the bug and they didn't like resist or turn into an infernal, or it was a side effect from other people turning into infernals?
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah, that'll be good to explore in future episodes to see exactly how.
Yeah, it could be that the fires started because of their transformation into this fire-wielding person. Because when that kid got infected by that bug, he kind of like got into a bit of a fiery fit. You know, there was a fire tornado around him. It was kind of violent before he calmed down. So what if these accidents that happened, like with Shinra when he was a kid, like he burned the house down and his family before turning into this fire feet-wielding person?
Or
And same
his
thing with
brother.
Hibana.
Yeah,
Or his brother.
That's what I was thinking.
But I mean, Hibana also, you know, what if someone tried to infect her into an infernal, and then, you know, shit just started burning around her, and then she got these powers all of a sudden, or something like that. I mean, she had the fire flower powers before, but I'm guessing she's referring to her heat syncope power, which,
Sure.
you know,
I don't get either.
heat syncope, it's a real thing. I learned it on a JonTron video
Oh,
about workplace hazards. It's like, it's basically just getting really hot, and then you feel a little lightheaded
Huh.
and dizzy.
so,
Workplace hazards. Be careful.
So she was putting an internal fire in him to make him lightheaded.
Yeah, she just made him hot. Feel, really dizzy.
Oh, okay.
She's hot stuff.
She's
So
hot.
she made it seem more cooler than it actually was.
It happens
By
every
calling
day
it
out in the
gravel.
field.
Oh yeah, gravel.
I think overall, just it seems like the mythology is getting denser and denser with the show, but I'm not as interested as I thought I would be. And I'm trying to think why. And one of the biggest reasons I think is one of the biggest parts I praised earlier in the show's run is the show's editing and kind of weird, quirky style. But I actually think now, just like watching these kind of 3 episodes basically all in a row, like I notice how kind of choppy a lot of the cuts are to be like artistic. And I think that undercuts character in a lot of ways where I'm not really caring about who's doing what, because I'm trying to figure out reactions and how they cut things into how it looks is affecting my investment in these characters. Do you guys feel that way, or am I crazy here?
Well, honestly, I just think the characters suck now. Like, who cares about any of them? Shinra, he's still investigating his family, but we've kind of lost that, storyline for now. And we don't get to see them talk or interact. They're investigating these other characters who aren't as great or aren't as they might be interesting, but we want to see more interesting characters from our main characters, and I don't think we have that anymore.
Yeah, I think we thought this was going to be a nice and interesting conspiratorial show with a lot of smart twists and character development stuff, but what we got was kind of way simpler than I think we wanted it to be, and things are moving along way faster than we want them to be. And part of that also is just things aren't resolved in a satisfying way, and I think that's because things are not developed or built up in a satisfying way. Like the resolution with Hibana, like you can't really expect that to be satisfying when it takes only a few episodes for that heel turn to happen.
Right.
If they had spent more time on that and developed that more, then and taken its time more, I think it would have been more effective. And same goes with our characters, which I think is what you're trying to say, Tori, is that I think we have a really cool cast of characters, but they're never really given the time to shine. Instead, we just keep introducing new characters for Shinra to beat up with one hit, and then that's where the story basically goes, is we end up focusing on the villains, who we only know for, a very short period of time, and then it kind of moves on to the next story. Because it seems like we've, in the course of about, 8 episodes, we've gone through maybe 3 or 4 story arcs. There's like that first part where Shinra joins and we kind of, learn more about the world and the cast. And then that second part with Princess Hibana. And now we're already in the third part, which is investigating the first, which I think is going to conclude next episode, because it seems like, at the very least, the fight has begun, or it could have already ended by now with Rekka. So things are just moving so fast, things aren't developing in a natural way, and I think that's part of why it's so unsatisfying to watch, because it doesn't even seem like the show cares about what's happening with its own world.
Yeah, and I just realized with you saying that, it's like we had a Princess Habana backstory, like a full in-depth understanding for characters before we've heard anything about any of our main cast of characters, like besides Shinra. Like we don't know anything about what makes these characters tick or how they really interact with one another. And Princess Habana is the only one who got that really in-depth backstory. Besides Shinra, of course, but he's supposed to be our through line. Yeah,
and we don't care about her.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know more about Obi. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know about the lieutenant. These are cool characters. I want to get to know them more. I want to see them interact with each other more because I think that's where the show is really at its best. I think a lot of the coolest moments are between Shinra and Arthur because they have the most chances to actually work together and talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I wish we had that more.
There was a moment I thought where I realized what I was missing out on the show. It's when the lieutenant comes, like checks in on them through the window, and they play it as a joke, just like, oh, the lieutenant's here, like checking in on them, like how you doing? And then he says like, how's Arthur? Is he doing okay? And for a moment, I had like a flash of just like, it would have been cool if a subplot of this was. I just realized none of these characters have relationships with like really, like anyone besides like. Everyone, it's like Arthur, or Shinra is like the focal point, but like how cool would it have been to have a Lieutenant Arthur kind of relationship and how those characters interact with each other and bounce off one another with Lieutenant's very serious belief and Arthur's, Arthurian kind of kooky belief. Like, what are they like when they go at it together? But then hearing that line, I realized, man, I'm missing so much character interaction like that I want to be seeing more of.
That's a good point. It's always Shinra and someone else. Or the main villains and their goons or whatever.
And then he'll one-punch them.
Yeah. One-punch them.
And there's already an anime for that.
Oh, that's right.
And the second season apparently isn't doing so hot, so.
And then, on top of all this, they always still throw in a little bit of fan service. It's just enough to be uncomfortable. Why?
It's anime.
It's enough where I don't need it, because, again, it's just what I expected the show to be. It's different. Like, you talk about the shower scene.
There's a shower scene, and then there's the cat girls. They call it the lucky lechery, where she just, oh my god, trips and suddenly my ass is on his head.
Oh yeah, and suddenly your arm is in my boob as I walk by, grab mayonnaise.
That's hilarious. So funny.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't need that from this anime, but I'm sure there are people who love it. So. Yeah,
I think more than ever. As I grow older and my anime viewing years, I understand now why anime is for children. Like, generally speaking, in Japan, I mean, obviously not all anime. There are, of course, anime that's good for all ages, and some anime that's good for adults. But sort of action-oriented anime like this, I mean, it's more for kids. I mean, really, I feel like. I kind of feel silly sometimes to expect so much from the show, but I just can't help it because there is some cool stuff about the show. I like the animation, for example, and it kind of makes up for kind of the lackluster writing and character development. But yeah, I just think I just have to constantly remind myself it's a kids show. It's a kids show. These are just this is what kids watch in Japan,
and they probably love it.
And they probably love it because the kids are probably like, wow. She was a bad guy, now she's a good guy. That's crazy.
Wow.
Oh, boobies.
Boobies.
This show's the best.
Yeah, you gotta stop. I think of it. It's not gonna be what I expected it to be when it first started. You're like, oh, this could be the next Full Metal Alchemist or maybe the next Attack on Titan. Like, it's gonna be really cool. Like, nah, it's just okay. It's gonna fall by the wayside after it's done. It could change my mind. I guess we were only on episode 8 of a 24 episode season. It could get really good really soon. But it could. You gotta have faith that it could do that. But as of right now, it's just like probably as soon as we're done watching this, I probably won't think of it again.
Yeah. Well, should we end it on that? Should we end it on that thought then?
on that high
positive note.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Kobe, would you like to sign us off?
Of course, you've been listening to this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Sorry we were behind on these last 3 episodes, but life got in the way because congratulations are in order if you want to announce or not.
Yeah, Torie and I are husband and wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are married.
We
so that took up some time.
Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You can send all payments and renegades to us. We'll find it. Just address it to Nerdblaze Studios. But yeah,
Perfect.
go ahead and give this video a like and a comment. Thank you all very much for your comments so far. And go check out our channel. We have a lot of cool videos of a lot of different things. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.